Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. I'm the owner and founder of Your Dance Closet in the Hudson Valley, New York, and I decided to make this video because I wanted to answer the burning question that I know is out there since right before the holidays about art class and the discontinuance of a huge amount of the Russian Pointe lines of shoes and where to turn, where to go, what to buy, and what is it all about. So what you had was Russian Pointe was manufacturing their shoes in the R-Class factory in Russia. And R-Class was selling their shoes outside of the United States. We couldn't get an R-Class shoe as retailers to distribute and sell inside the United States. We were primarily turning to Russian Pointe, and that was the company that was manufacturing the shoes in there. Suffolk, about 2 years ago, came out with a Russian line of shoes. They also started manufacturing these shoes in the R-Class factory. So what you have were the Russian Pointe shoes that were these are an older model, but these are the Sapfir. They were made in the R-Class factory. You have the Suffolk shoes that came out about 2 years ago, also made in the R-Class factory. And again, looking very similar. And you can see on the inside, made by R-Class. So you have side by side, if I take my Rubin and the Suffolk Rain, which are very similar, you can see that we have a lot of similarities in this shoe. The satin's similar. Russian Pointe started having more of a stamped bottom here. I don't have any more of that particular manufacturer left, so I just have the stamped bottom. But this is what was happening with Suffolk back about 2 years ago. Now R-Class is distributing their shoes directly to the United States, and they have a wealth of available options which are great, and they specifically have shoes that are here to help us replace our beloved Sapfir and Rubin. So what I thought I'd do first was address the Rubin and what we used to have in our Rubin and what we now have from R-Class, which is the replacement shoe. So we have our Rubin model here, and I'll have a little bit more detail about your shoe that you were wearing here in the notes. But then this is the R-Class, which has the RC30, also known as the Fantasia, which is now our option for the Rubin. So very, very similar shoe. I'm going to put them side by side. You can barely tell the difference. There's a couple little differences. The R-Class shoe I see is, as far as I'm concerned, I try to get the same width and length so that we can compare them side by side. You have a little bit broader room there in the kind of bunion metatarsal area up there. Similar taper as it goes to the platform. Very similar platform. And again, the bottoms, if I had one of the stamped bottoms, you would be able to see that it's very, very similar in terms of how these shoes are made. I'm going to put them on for you so that you can see how they look side by side. So you can see here I have one of each shoe on. I won't tell you which one at first is which. So I'm just going to show, of course they're not sewn, but I'll show you as I go up onto releve. Here's your side profile, inside, inside, and your roll through. They feel the same. I don't feel any difference between the two shoes. I feel as though the size conversion is accurate. I think the width that I'm wearing in the Rubin is the same as the width that I'm wearing in the R-Class. So I have width 4 on both of them. I also feel as though the length is converted correctly. So I have a 36 in the Rubin, and I have a 230, I believe. I have a 230 in the R-Class. So here we are. This is your R-Class. This is the new Rubin. And then here is the old Rubin in the Russian Pointe version. As you can see, very, very similar. And again, I'm wearing both shoes. I don't feel any difference, which is great. Great news. So now I'm going to compare up close the RC10, which is the Pristine, against the Sapfir. So this is the replacement shoe for the Sapfir. You'll see that they're built similarly. Again, they're for tapered, more compressible toes. I have worn these, I would say, twice. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of wear there, but and they kind of broadened a little bit more than they had been when they came out of the box. But this is the the Sapfir from before. Now I'd like to show you close up the side-by-side of the Russian Pointe Sapfir with the RC10. I have been wearing these shoes myself. I've worn them twice now in class, and so you see a little bit of wear more so than this shoe. It kind of broadened out a little bit, but you do see it's a little bit, I would say, kind of wider on the bottom. Certainly the outer sole is a little bit wider there, and in terms of the platform, they're the same. So you have the same nice platform, you have the same pleated bottom. The one thing that I do like, I would have to say, about the art class is that if you look on the Sapfir, the seaming stops and it doesn't continue all the way around. On the art class, you have that seam that kind of continues all the way around. I just feel like this really kind of stops the shoe for me, especially because with high arches, it's almost like you darn them just slightly, nothing dramatic. But I do feel as though that kind of gives me a little bit more stability there, and I like that. So this is a little bit more rounded on the edge there, which I like this a little bit better. But that's really the major difference. They feel the same inside. You've got your same type of fabric inside. There's nothing different about the insole. There's nothing different about the lining of the shoe. They're both the same. Likewise on the Rubin, everything is made very, very similarly. And I think you'll be really happy that there are options other than trying to buy up every single Russian Pointe shoe that you could possibly find on the market before they're all gone. So no more hunting, and you now have options. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can text us, you can call us, you can email us, you can reach out to us on social media. Again, it's Your Dance Closet. All of our info is in the comments. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.